Off a day and welcome to Kandit's Daily Crime Report. I'm Johnny Rosario.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
It is Friday, September 2nd. And as we were discussing, because we got 4 magistrates, well, there's more, but these are the violent crimes for today. Danielle and I were trying to figure out.
We're like, no, that one hit the mom and that one hit the kids.
So you know what, guys? You decide who is the winner for today. We will read you what the magistrates, what magistrates were filed today. Quick reminder: these defendants are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. We will start off first with Arayame. She is our niece. She is a Kandit kid, and her mom needs our help. They have some medical issues, and if you could just look for her online at the GoFundMe account. We can't share the link, but if you go to my personal page, Danielle's personal page,
you'll see
Troy's personal page, you'll see the link there on our pages. And I believe my page is on public, right? Mm-hmm. Please, and any amount would help. If you can't, prayers work too. But I want to also thank you. Oh, if you cannot donate via PayPal or through this GoFundMe, just call me personally or message me and we can meet up. That would be great too. I will definitely make sure her mom gets it from you. Okay, Ole, let's start. Let's start off with Rivera.
You go, girl.
Right? That's who we're... Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
On or about September 1st, Guam police responded to a reported physical disturbance at a residence located on Erskine Drive, Agate. There, police were informed by the victim that her son, Adrian Joel Tapasnia Rivera, had gotten into an argument with his minor brother and was screaming and cursing at the brother to mop up some spilled juice. The victim further stated that she observed her son push his brother to the floor. The victim told police that the defendant did push him, causing him to trip over a box onto the floor on his buttocks. The brother further stated that he was okay, but that he was afraid of the defendant. The victim's older son was outside of the residence preparing for a barbecue when he heard the yelling coming from the residence, and came into the residence where the victim observed the defendant yelling and cursing at them. The victim tried to step between the defendant and his mother, whereupon the defendant pushed his brother in the chest, causing him to lose his balance and nearly fall down the stairs. When the victim regained his balance, the defendant slapped him in the face and on the left side with his right hand. Based on the foregoing, there is probable cause to charge Adrian Joel Tapasnia Rivera with 2 counts of family violence.
Next up is Lucia Paulus, and on or about September 1st, 2022 in Guam, police responded to a reported theft of property at the RC Apartments in Tamuning. At said location, police were informed by the victim that on this date she heard her daughter, Lucia Paulus, who lived in a unit above her yelling. The victim opened the door to her unit and told the defendant to stop yelling and acting crazy. The defendant became angry, approached the victim, and struck her twice on the upper shoulder using a closed fist in a downward hammer-like strike. This was witnessed by another person who is the daughter of the victim and the defendant's sister. The daughter had retrieved her cell phone to call the police after her sister, the defendant, began yelling profanities at her. After the sister retrieved her phone and went outside, she observed the defendant attack her mother. Out of instinct, her sister threw her phone at the defendant to get her to stop hitting her mom. The defendant picked up the sister's cell phone, described to be an iPhone 10, and refused to return it to her, and instead left with the phone. The phone was valued at approximately $200. The defendant was apprehended near the apartment. The cell phone was located after a search of the area where the defendant had been apprehended. Part of the phone was in a Mr. Rubbishman dumpster, submerged in about an inch of water. The screen from the phone was located on the ground across the street. When the defendant was arrested, she was initially observed hiding behind a push and thereafter backed away towards the border wall of the GW apartments, where she was located trying to hide in the parking lot.
Is that supposed to be a bush? Or a bush?
Oh, yeah, right? Behind a bush.
Okay.
At that time, the defendant appeared to be under the influence of alcohol in that she had bloodshot, watery eyes, the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from her breath and person, and slurred speech. Based on the foregoing, there is probable cause to charge Lucia Paulus with family violence, criminal mischief, and public drunkenness.
And theft of property.
Good looking out.
And this one. Okay, you guys are supposed to decide which is worse. The next one up would be Bisalem. On August 31st in Guam, Mr. Ross Halili had left his job at the Payless supermarket in Mighty and was walking towards the employee parking lot located along Robot Street next to Angel Care Apartments when he observed an individual later identified to be Bisalem, who was yelling "F you" at Halili and other words in a language that Halili did not understand. Halili continued to walk towards his vehicle when the defendant began to run towards him. Halili tried to defend himself. However, the defendant pulled out what appeared to be a large kitchen knife from his waistband area and shoved Halili, causing him to fall on his back and black out. When Halili awoke, he felt pain on the back of his head and noticed that his Samsung A20 cell phone was missing. These events were witnessed by a fellow coworker who was about to get into his car at Payless employee parking lot when he saw the defendant chasing Halili. The witness observed Halili try to defend himself and observed the defendant pull out a knife. The witness observed the defendant get on top of Halili and observed the defendant hold the knife up high as if he was going to stab Halili. The witness yelled at the defendant, who took Halili's cell phone and ran away. The witness went to Halili's aid and observed Halili was groggy, weak, and bleeding from the back of his head. The witness called 911 to report the incident. He also heard someone shout that the attacker was returning. When the defendant saw that the witness was talking on the phone, the defendant ran towards the witness, yelling at him. The defendant chased the witness out onto the street and threw a rock at the witness, missing him. The witness observed that the defendant was holding something in his hand, which the witness assumed was a knife that the defendant was holding earlier. The witness stated that the defendant ran back towards the jungle area along Robert Street. And by the way, I'm just reading these verbatim, okay? Halili was treated and released at the Guam Memorial Hospital and thereafter proceeded in the evening to the Guam Police Central Precinct Command to make a statement concerning the incident. As Halili was in the parking lot area of the precinct speaking to Officer Wright, the defendant was being brought into the precinct after being arrested for public intoxication. When Halili saw the defendant, he began screaming in fear, quote, that's the guy who almost killed me, that's him, end quote. Officer Wright inquired of Halili if he was certain that the man who was being escorted into the precinct was the man who robbed him. Halili adamantly stated, quote, yes, officer, I will never forget his face. He pushed me down and held a knife to me and almost killed me, end quote. Based on the foregoing, there's probable cause to charge Bisalim with robbery and a special allegation of possession and use of a deadly weapon in commission of a felony, terrorizing, and assault.
I think you got the winner.
This was the winner?
I think so. Well, I mean, this one bothers me because it went on for so long, and he just keeps harassing her.
Okay, go for it.
So on or about January 24th, 2022, officers were dispatched to the Wyndham Hotel. Officers met with the victim, who told officers that on January 24th, 2022, her boyfriend, the defendant, Lee Pangilinan, had entered into her son's room with a black leather belt and attempted to spank him with it. The son kicked the defendant's hand, causing him to drop the belt. The defendant then pinned the boy on the bed. His mother entered the room and saw the defendant holding the back of her son's neck, pinning him to the bed. The victim and her daughter managed to get the defendant to let go of her son, and her son left the room to get water, and the defendant followed him and punched him with his left hand in a closed fist. Officers noticed slight bruising around the son's eye, and her son corroborated his mother's statement. The defendant, the victim, and the son have previously lived at the same residence. On or about February 25th, 2022, officers were called to the alley shelter. Officers met with the victim, who told them that the defendant had followed her to Payless and attempted to hit her with a container of peanut butter. The victim told officers that she was staying at the shelter because of the January 24th incident. The victim was escorted to Payless in Dedido by a shelter worker, and while they were in the store, she felt someone touch her shoulder. She immediately recognized that it was the defendant and that he was pleading with her to go home with him. When the defendant was told that the victim didn't feel safe with him, he grabbed her arm, and when she pulled back, he grabbed a container of peanut butter and held it as if he was going to strike her with it. The witness intervened and escorted the victim to the cashier to purchase items. The defendant stated that he knew where she lives and that she just needs to come home with him. The victim told officers that she could see the defendant standing outside of Payless, looking through the windows to make sure she was still in line. The victim and the witness waited until the defendant left the property before they left. When they were walking to their vehicle, they saw the defendant standing across the street, observing them. The victim told officers that she does not feel safe at the shelter because the defendant knows she is there and she is worried he will harm her or someone helping her. The witness corroborated the victim's version of what occurred. On or about August 19, 2022, officers were dispatched to Redondo Luchan Dedido. They met with another person who told them that the defendant made threats towards him and the victim. The victim also told officers that Thursday night, August 18, 2022, the defendant had entered the residence with a knife unannounced. The defendant lunged at one of the victims with the knife, and they told officers that he blocked the knife and punched the defendant in the face once. The defendant left yelling and cussing. On August 20th, 2022, both victims provided GPD a copy of the protective order and told officers that they were scared for their family. Based on the foregoing, there is probable cause to charge Lee Pangilinan with 1 count of home invasion, 1 count of burglary, 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of terrorizing, 1 count of stalking, 2 counts of family violence, and 1 count of violation of a court order.
No, he's the winner.
He's the winner?
He's the winner.
All right.
Lee Pangilinan, you are the winner for today.
Winner, boiled chicken dinner.
Today we actually, Danielle and I, we went over to DOC. They had a graduation. It was Guam Trades Academy and DOC. And I just want to say
Bert Johnson, you are the man.
Yes, Bert Johnson does a lot for our community.
For the youth.
He really believes in
second chances.
Second chances, that trades is, a way to go to support your family. It's if you have a kid that doesn't really know, not your kid, they're adults already, right? But they're still our kids.
Yeah.
If they're just hanging around, they don't know what to do, I suggest you go over to Guam Trades Academy and check out Bert Johnson, Mr. Johnson. He will find something for your child or your adult child to do.
If they don't want to go to college and they just want to get into the workforce, it's a good way.
Yes, go check him out. I'm pretty sure they'll find ways. There was how many guys that graduated?
77 so far, and
total.
77 plus the 9.
Yeah, I think we're not
86.
sure. Danielle wrote down the names. We do have a video. We'll put something together. The governor was there. The warden Alan Borja was there. Guam Trades Academy was there. I don't believe we saw any family members there, but
it was a good day for them. They look proud.
Yeah,
they looked like they were happy with themselves.
Yeah,
they completed something.
So and it was kind of weird walking in there without being
walking the line, and we're not at visitation, and we're not incarcerated.
Yes.
We weren't in shackles. That was a great
I wasn't
feeling.
wearing a blue Fed shirt,
And the officers, hey, Johnny. You too, Danielle.
Hey, you too. Yes, us too.
You don't gotta handcuff us. We'll go.
Yeah, and then they they checked us, made sure that we weren't carrying anything on
Felt good,
us. So shout out to the officers there too.
Officer Cepeda.
Yeah,
I like her.
Me too.
She's really,
great.
Yeah, she's so fair.
Yes.
She doesn't power
She treats
trip.
you like a person.
person.
Yeah, a human being. So once again, please check out Araya May's GoFundMe. If you can't find it, look on my page, look on Troy's page. Bunker said he donated and he shared it.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Bunker.
JP Breed says FB puts more people in jail than Guam. Marianne Damien says, good afternoon, Candid News Team. Sisters Johnny, Danielle, and Guam.
Hi.
That's it.
Don't forget to check out Pari's
Oh, yeah,
Place.
Pari's Place. Mixed Plate is playing tonight.
And then I believe, I think the Lulu, he has a birthday on Sunday. I don't know if it's at Pari's Place or
I
at
don't know who's that.
Linda's.
Who's that?
He's the one that that's always playing over at both of those venues.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday.
It is Friday. Please, it's a 3-day weekend. Monday is
Is it?
a holiday. Boss.
That's
Oh, we're
right.
off?
We're off.
Wait, say it again.
We're off on Labor Day.
Yeah, we are. We're the winners. Sorry, Lee.
So we are off
outta
on
here.
Monday. It is a 3-day weekend for us. Please drive safe. Check out Pari's Place. Please enjoy your family. Love your family. Hold them tight. And let's not complain this weekend. Let's just enjoy each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one likes a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy
Yeah. Have a great weekend. Drive safe. And we will see you on Tuesday.
or a jealous Jan.